Hello, everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about there was a time in the 1960s and then in the 70s when Nigeria used to borrow. Nigeria actually lent money to European countries. Mind you, that time was the time Nigeria discovered oil. Nigeria have a lot of surplus revenue from oil. So it used to like Nigeria and Ghana, but I'm sure of Nigeria. So we used to lend money to European countries. That I have been trying to get a credible facts about this, but I don't have it. But I know it actually did happen, and I've been known about this since I was growing up. That African countries, some of them that gained independence in the 1960s, late 1950s, like Ghana, that gained independence in 1957, March 1957, and Nigeria that gained independence 3 years later. So there was a time they lent European countries money, and mind you, that time some of these countries are coming after, they're still recovering from Second World War. So Nigeria, oil, Ghana, gold, and everything. So the economy is vibrant. The currency was strong. You know, so that they're lending those countries money in Europe. So what this means is that it defeats the narrative that colonization kept Africa poor to today. No, most of these countries in Africa, once they gain independence, they have a bright trajectory to be a great country. But what you see is that most of the people in the corridors of power, right, started doing coups. Because if you notice, there's a lot of coups that happened in Nigeria alone. And some of these coups were sponsored. You understand? So they started engaging in coups. Some of them are sponsored by CIA. Some of them were sponsored by outside entities in the hope of destabilizing a country for their own benefit. So at the end of the day, African leaders, depending on which country in Africa, actually destroyed their country. Once they gain independence from Britain or France, they are moving forward. Everything is looking good, but the greed came in and destroyed everything. I'm gonna pause and you'll watch this quick video about the fact there was a time Nigeria and Ghana lent money to European countries. Let's watch it.
Did you know Nigeria and Ghana once loaned money to Europe? Yep, Africa was the lender, not the borrower. In the 1960s and early 1970s, Nigeria and Ghana had thriving economies fueled by booming exports of oil, cocoa, gold, and palm produce. Their currencies were strong, foreign reserves were high, and Europe was still rebuilding from World War II. As shocking as it sounds, both countries provided financial aid or credit to European nations. A complete reversal of what we see today. It was a time when African economies had global confidence, and their leaders spoke of building a future that would rival the West.
There was a time Nigeria Airways, they have this major airline that travels around the world, like about 100 destinations. One of the biggest airlines. Nigeria airline used to be like how Qatar Airways is now, back in the day. But all of a sudden, corruption destroyed it, destroyed everything. So it goes back to Africans are the ones destroying Africa. And you will see people come online, oh, white men are destroying Africa, white man is taking resources, colonization. When you hear people say that, they are trying to deviate their stupidity, lack of accountability, and looking inwards as knowing this is the problem we are facing is inward. They blame it on the white man. It happens everywhere. But the easiest way black people run away from accountability is they blame it on white men. Any society they find themselves, things are not going the way, they blame it on the white man. You understand? So these have defeated the purpose. There was a time that Africa was actually having surplus money, doing great, right? And then greed, envy, hatred for a country coming and internally start to destroy African countries. Well, it has nothing to do with white men. you create an environment that allow an enemy in, whichever enemy. You understand? So that's the problem Africa is facing today. This is a clear example that some of these problems that Africa, all of them are internally created. They have nothing to do with the colonization. Yeah, the colonization should have some impact. No, yes, I mean to say, but does it design to make Africa poor? No. Other countries in Asia that gain independence right around when Africans, because some Asian countries start gaining independence during or after Second World War. Less than 10 years later, African countries start getting independence, right? So, like a little over 10 years, African. So, why is it that some of these Asian countries are moving forward? Because they didn't focus on victimhood. Singapore, Indonesia, Indonesia, where Dutch people ruled with iron fist. They have moved on. Some of them are $1 trillion economy now, but Africans are still, grappling. Oh, looking, pointing fingers. This is a no. The problem is internally have nothing to do with white men, and this is a clear example. If you want to disagree in my comment section, that's fine. Share your thoughts. All right. So that's the video, man. I just want to use this as an evidence to let people know that was a time most African countries were in a trajectory to be great, but greed, greed and greed, lack of love of country, they destroyed everything, and now they are the way they are, struggling, and then they are looking around blaming colonization. No, it's not. See,